It is said that in Music City, USA, country rocks, bluegrass rules, and western swings. So far, we found that to be true, but there is also a surprise or two in Nashville.
Originally built as a temporary structure for the 1897 Tennessee Centennial Exposition, the Nashville Parthenon is the only exact replica of the Parthenon in Greece and owes its concept to Nashville's nickname, Athens of the South. It was so beloved by the people at that time that it was reinforced as a permanent museum in 1925, with the final piece de resistance finished in 2002, the 42-foot gilded statue of Athena. Admission is $10 and the parking is free.
No matter what you're doing in Nashville, attending a concert, visiting a plantation, or wandering through a museum, you're going to want to add some bling to your ensemble.
It was her year of studying abroad in Florence, Italy, that gave Mclaine Richardson her interest in metalsmithing and jewelry design. But the opportunity to own her own studio came when her mentor retired.
So Mclaine, you own this studio, but it's not under your name. So explain kind of how that happened.
So Margaret Ellis created the business in 1983. She started it out of her house and slowly took classes and built the repertoire. And we have a lot of signature styles, which we'll kind of talk about here in a little while.
Okay.
Everything is sterling silver, bronze, and then over time we've added gold, 18 karat and 22, as well as gold filled that we've now included into the repertoire. Everything starts out as sheet and wire, and then gets hammered and sculpted and manipulated into the beautiful pieces you see. But Margaret ran the business for 30 years, and then when she was ready to retire, she asked me if I would be interested. I was working for her back in the back, making, along with Angie and Edward.
So, but your background is in design, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So this was just sort of the opportunity that you were in the right place at the right time and took over?
I graduated during the big recession in 2008, and so I was working in a healthcare marketing company that got bought out and we all got laid off. And
it's a perfect time to rethink, right?
Well, I had taken a jewelry class when I lived in Italy when I did study abroad in college, and loved the jewelry design class, jewelry making. We were learning traditional, more European style, a lot of lost wax, as well as soldering and hammering and everything. But definitely I learned a lot on the job and the circumstance. I grew up with my mom wearing Margaret Ellis jewelry.
And so you were familiar
with the brand? I was very familiar with the
brand,
and I was actually working on a freelance photography project where I was shooting magazine books. And from that we reached out and Margaret provided me a white box to shoot the books in, and that's how we got reconnected with her. And my mom was like, "Oh, Mclaine makes jewelry if you need help." "Oh no, I'm about to retire. I don't need any help." 2 weeks later she calls, "Okay, I need help. Will you come fill in and help out?" And then 3 years later she had sold me the business.
So the decision to keep her name on it was because
of the legacy of the brand.
Legacy of the brand.
You know, even this week I had someone reach out with one of the early pieces that was probably in '84 that just has Margaret's signature on the back that looks nothing like what we do today, asking if it was one of our pieces.
So what changes sort of have you made to really bring things into the more modern era?
You know, I think the biggest thing is the fact that Margaret was 70 and I was 26 when she sold me the business, which was 11 years ago now. So I think that different point of view, I try to design stuff partly for what I like as well as who I think my customer has become. Because in that time, people's buying habits have changed, what they want and desire, and everyone's lifestyle has become a lot more casual than what it used to be.
Very true. The whole deck out with the matching and matching and all of that.
And I occasionally have a customer who comes in and wants the matching and they're like, "What do you have?" I'm like, "I don't have anything literal, but we can make something to fit that purpose."
Well, some of your signature styles like this
Yes.
is one of your signature styles. So tell me, what makes this unique?
So we do a lot of sinusoidal pieces that we hammer off.
Like, what is that thing?
These lovely sinusoidal stakes. They get clamped in, and then the pieces get put on and then hammered.
Oh,
And so that's what gives it that flair. And so that's kind of what we're known for. We've been doing these pieces since the late 80s. We can pull out old style sheets, and at the time we would hand draw, or very old school Xerox the piece. But
I'm old enough to know what a Xerox is.
I know, but
Right.
I'm just saying we were very rudimentary in some of our
Well, that was
stuff.
what you had at the time.
It is.
And it was leading edge at the time. It's just we have a different leading edge now.
It is.
Right?
But yes, everything gets flared up with the way the hammer hits the stake, and it raises it up. But we do them in different thicknesses, even down to the earrings. And then even these, which are more pod shape, start out that way, and then we switch to a different hammer to close them. And so, even though it all starts out as a flat sheet of metal, it gets formed and then tweaked with the hammer.
So it's something quite satisfying about,
Yes.
it's
kind of therapeutic.
It's all about cheap therapy, right?
It definitely gets loud.
Yeah, I'll bet. But you also work with pearls, with some different stones.
Yeah, we use semi-precious stones, hand-picked, selected pearls, and then all metals. My personal favorite is the all metals, but each stone and pearl bring life to things in a different way.
Right.
That's a different mold.
What appeals to you about all metal?
I think it allows you to diversify an outfit a lot more. That's not limited by a color or a whiteness or any of the colors of pearls. It allows more flexibility. It allows you to wear a bright, colorful, but doesn't necessarily compete, but more complements. So that's my personal reason why I prefer. But like here I am wearing a pearl cuff, but you wouldn't think it looks like a pearl from a distance, because I've tried to incorporate it in a way that is not your normal.
Well, it's very contemporary design, but also your earrings, you have several different metals in your earrings and pearl. So you got
there's actually no pearls in the
pearls.
earrings.
Really? Oh, it's a
hammered ball.
It's a hammered ball.
Along with the pot.
But a lot of movement,
Yes.
interesting shape. Goes great with your hair, your outfit. So beautifully accessorized today. So one of the things we're going to do is go back into the workshop and watch the magic happen. Okay, so here we are in the workshop, and we got several different things going on. So help me understand what's happening with the fire over here.
So Edward is soldering right now. He's working on a long double chain where we're going to incorporate these spiral pearls. And so it's going to be a long, just big chunky chain. It's something we're working on for fall. Right now it's in the, have an idea, but it might morph from that idea as we work on it. And sometimes I tell Edward ideas and I see it, I'm like, oh, that was not such a great idea. Maybe we rework that and come up with a little better thing. So right now he's just working on some chain to mix in with those spirals.
But isn't that the beauty of design? Yes. It just sort of evolves. You see it and you go, and that needs to be a little longer, that needs to be a little shorter, that needs to be a little more, and you just let it flow, and then you end up with the piece that you thought you envisioned, but you didn't. But that's how it came out.
Yes.
Right? Did you come up with the drawing then to begin with, and then
no? So this is an old piece that we did back in probably I think I found it in the 2010 binder. And so we're just taking parts of it and refabbing them and working it into the collection we're working on now.
Okay.
So I have access to the 40-year catalog when I took over from Margaret.
Yes.
That was part of buying her name and the brand, is that we have the 40-year archive that we can always reference and pull things back from. So I always try to incorporate that in to keep it authentically us, while still tying in things that are old into making them into unique pieces.
Yes, I love that. It's the past and the present all coming together
Correct.
to make something new and unique,
Yes.
but still has that ode, right?
A love of art history and fashion have influenced Mclaine Richardson's creative vision that gives homage to the past and relevance to the present at Margaret Ellis Jewelry.
So far on this episode of Ms. World Traveler in Nashville, we have talked about custom hats, vintage Western shirts, and accessorizing with incredible jewelry from Margaret Ellis. Next time, we're doubling the sparkle to bling bling, and you will not want to miss the show-stopping designs. Don't go away.